And a chair again to Rollins.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. And once you're done, leave a comment down below and I just might end up responding. Money, 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 money. Vince loves that Saudi Arabian dollar. The WWE is a pretty big corporation. Not sure if you heard of them. They're kind of running this whole wrestling biz thing. While their position at the top may find itself in jeopardy if their top champion doesn't stop bashing all the wrong people on Twitter and in podcasts, oh, and because of that AEW thing, none of that could possibly matter because Vince McMahon has this rare genetic disorder where he literally has $100 bills inside of his veins. Yeah, he's got that money, and if Vince has the money, the top talent has it too. So I'm D-Wicked, and these are 10 people who have way more money than me. Number 10 is actually a tie between Dolph Ziggler and Ronda goddamn Rousey. Very, very strange company indeed. On one hand, you've got a wrestler who's been claiming he's the best and deserves everything despite having a terrible record, yet still gets opportunities because tenure. On the other hand, you've got a wrestler who had long since claimed she was the best and proved it by having nearly perfect record over a year due to being Dolph Ziggler. I might have those a little bit backwards. This is a pretty interesting look at how loyalty to a company through long tenure can take you places, but then also being famous and shoehorning into the top of the division will do the exact same thing. For their efforts, despite the immense difference in their tenures, each has been rewarded with a fat $1.5 million contract.
Somebody's got to break this hold here, or Rousey's going to break Brick's arm.
I think the whole locker room's getting the message right now.
Number 9, Kevin Owens. Hey, good on you, Kev. You took Ziggler's whole tenure thing and you sent it straight to hell by beating him in just a few years. Admittedly, this isn't much of Ziggler's fault. He's 100% born in the wrong era and would have thrived in wrestling like no other had he debuted a decade or so later. But nonetheless, Kevin Owens, the big bad Canadian bully, has been running around with his buddy Sami Zayn for a while now, and if I were to guess, they probably split whatever they end up paying. But Kevin probably pays at least a little bit more, seeing as Zayn's only pulling in around $500,000, a whole quarter of what his best friend's banking on the annual.
Big thinking by Kingston. Well, what the? Wait a minute!
Number 8, The Miz. Boo. No, wait, what the hell are you doing as a face? No, go back. Oh, that good. Boo. Whoa! That's the career trajectory of The Miz from a fan's perspective over the last decade. Despite a really weak one-off face run in 2013, he has spent an entire career perfecting his devilish craft only to turn into a hero on us out of absolutely nowhere. And you know what? He is damn great at it. The Miz was solid in the early 2010s, but ever since 2016, he has stepped up his game and he really knows how to get into his element. And for that, he is pocketing a very making me jealous $2.5 million.
Miz's career is on a downward spiral. I mean, he hasn't been the same competitor since Shane McMahon stepped in. You're absolutely right. He's more aggressive.
Number 7.
Are you kidding me? Undertaker is here!
The Undertaker. You knew it was coming. And I guess I should add in this stipulation right now, Saudi Arabia and any other one-off shows like it just are not counting here. Otherwise, literally Goldberg would be on the list of the highest paid wrestlers of 2019. And what the fuck kind of sentence even is that? No, screw that. We're sticking to annual contracts. And while Undertaker probably banked like a solid $2 million from Saudi alone, everything else he does this year, which normally is like nothing, but hey, look, he gonged at Shane, will do him even better with $2.5 million coming in on a year he didn't even show at Mania. I know, that's the same as The Miz, and I paired Dolph with Ronda, but come on. Miz doesn't have Saudi money coming in, so I think Taker can edge him out at least on this one. Although, I'm sure Miz has Miz and Mrs. money coming in, and I am scared to know if that's somehow more than the Saudi money. Number 6, Seth freaking Rollins. Now, it's at this point in the video that I should probably make it clear that wrestler salaries are a bit of tricky business for fans like us because we're never really 100% sure. We're just getting information that's passed on down to us. The most up-to-date and consistent numbers, the ones I'm going off of, came out shortly before WrestleMania. So, maybe it's worth taking into consideration that Rollins was only making $3 million pre-Universal Championship reign. Jesus Christ, in reality, he might be number 3 or 4 on this list by now alone, but who knows, maybe Kofi's edged himself into a triple threat match against Ziggler and Rousey to see who the best paid $1.5 million wrestler is, but that's all just nonsensical speculation, and we'll be sticking to the numbers. So Seth, stop bashing Ambrose. Why are you doing that?
And Corbin goes after Rollins, and Rollins and Corbin going at it. Oh.
Number 5, AJ Styles, $3.5 million. AJ Styles is currently making $3.5 million, and his job right now has basically been just taking the piss out of the club and trying to get them out of this lull that they've fallen into. AJ is making millions to be a motivational speaker right now, basically, and god damn it, more power to him. I mean, he's still doing the whole wrestling thing too, don't get me wrong, and he's doing it pretty damn well, might I add, and it'll be going even better if this whole club nonsense leads to something good. Don't expect it, never expect anything with this company, but just have a little bit of hope, and who knows, maybe one day Anderson and Gallows could be making this. It's never gonna fucking happen.
Styles quickly rolled out to the apron. Oh, and he caught him. And now off the top rope. Phenomenal forearm.
Number 4, Randall Keith Orton. The award for the dude easily in the second best position on this list. Randy Orton. Yeah, he's not even in the top 3 highest paid wrestlers, but who the fuck cares when you're still number 4 and you have one of the easiest jobs in the world? The dude's got wrestling in his damn DNA. It's just natural to him. So when he's wrestling, it's like he's barely even working to begin with. And, you know, there's this little caveat when he's wrestling, because honestly, how often is he doing that anymore? Randy Orton makes $4.5 million and hasn't done anything of note since his WrestleMania match with the number 5 entry. Well played, Mr. Viper. You did good.
You and none of your little indie pals ever ripped anybody off?
Number 3, Roman Reigns. Hey man, if getting beat up by Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre every goddamn week is all it takes to earn yourself a $5 million contract, then please hand me any and all papers with dotted lines on them. I will sign my soul to that cash money devil. Well, to be fair, it's not the reason he's making so much. It's mostly due to the fact that Vince McMahon is at a raging man boner trying to get this dude over for about 5 years as a singles competitor, no matter how little the fans wanted anything to do with him. But again, who gives a shit about stupid fans when you have 5 million coming in on the reg? Well, there are probably a lot of wrestlers, but shut up.
Oh! McIntyre nearly put through the wall. And put through a table.
Number 2, John Cena. Well, those promos about The Rock leaving for Hollywood sure didn't end up looking too good, huh? Despite that awkward hindsight hiccup, things have been pretty smooth sailing for big movie John lately, especially considering just how much of a megastar he's really becoming, and it makes sense. John Cena is like the one wrestler everyone knows today. It's like when Ronda Rousey stepped in WWE. Like, it makes sense why you are the biggest thing right now. While almost all of his time is now devoted elsewhere, he'll always know where home is, and no matter how little attention he shows it, it will always send him an $8.5 million paycheck.
There is a doctor in the house.
This is great.
A doctor of thugonomics.
And number 1, Drew Gulak. What? It's Brock Lesnar. It was always going to be Brock Lesnar. You knew it was going to be Brock Lesnar, just like the year before, and then the year before that, and the year before that, and Jesus Christ, he's been the highest paid superstar for a while now, huh? Well, anyways, yeah.
No! And a chair again to Rollins.
No one has as much value to Vince McMahon right now as Brock Lesnar, especially considering the fact that WWE's been in a lull and the company sees Lesnar as essentially the last drawing name they've got. Hence, our Mr. Money in the Bank is quite literally Mr. Money in the Bank. $12 million.
God. No more. Rollins can't even defend himself.
And those are the 10 current highest paid WWE wrestlers that we've got to our brand. What am I doing? What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below after liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and notifications and that bell.